Hello, and welcome back to another Website Depot podcast. As ever, I'm your host, Greg Benevent, and today we're lucky to once again have with us Kat Lev. How you doing today there, Kat?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
I hanging in, allergies. For those, thankfully, this has been edited to the point you did not have to watch the 5 minutes of me clearing my throat. People at home, Kat did, so she's more than ready to start this. Um, I get, I'm always glad to talk to you about social media because I always learn something whenever I do that, and I know if I'm learning something, then certainly the people watching this are. And I know that, for me personally, a big thing about social media is thinking, oh, geez, I don't want to screw this up.
Mhm.
So I wanted to talk to you, Kat, about what are some mistakes that you see small business people make, particularly at the beginning, and ways that they can keep that from happening.
Yes, I actually created a list of my top 5 mistakes that I've noticed.
Hey.
And, because when you're seeing a new business or when you're checking out when you're checking out someone new and you haven't seen them before, first impressions are everything. But then once you get past
Hmm.
that and you can see, what is a company doing and what are they doing wrong instead of what
Mm.
are they doing right? These are the things that come to my head of that could be better. So I think starting with number one, it's a little bit obvious, but sometimes it's not. When you are doing a professional account for your product and your company, do not post personal photos. This is, you know, this is an account for, if say this is an account for a skincare company, you're not going to post a picture of you on a Friday night being like, yeah, Friday night wine. Like, sure, that could be something for your personal account. If you want to do something like that, you can make it more personal or more broad for your, you could have a picture of your mask with a bottle of wine and you could be like, this is what Friday nights are for. You could change what you want and put it in, but no one really wants to see, I mean, I guess if we're talking about products and we're talking about wanting to sell a product, but if your product is yourself and you're a personal person and
Mm.
you're an influencer, or your product is something that comes with who you are, then sure, you can post personal things. If they are following you for your masks and your skincare routines and your skincare
Mm.
products, they're not going to be wanting to see that, or pictures of your mom at the ranch. Like, it's just no one is really, that's more personal than it is professional. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say I'm laughing because I did that exact thing when I was working for a company before Website Depot, a company that is no longer with us, and it's I'm laughing and it is obvious, but it's something that's easier to do than you might think because I was on the company's Twitter feed and I switched over to my personal Twitter feed and I retweeted something and I didn't even realize I hadn't switched over because I
Mm,
was still browsing through the other things. So I'm laughing, and while something may seem obvious, it's not always that obvious there in the moment. So I'm
yeah.
so glad you said that, Kat.
I think number two would be not posting enough relatable content. So this is where people can get confused with personal. So having relatable content means making memes out of your products or your company, or coming up with relatable captions like this is what's a Friday night for. Like,
Mhm.
there's a difference between personal and professional, and there's a difference between being a corporate or being a human. So it's,
Mm.
the whole thing about social media is the personalization, but it's really important to clarify what that is. And so that would be, creating memes or something fun or catchy captions for your products and statuses or tweets. Number three is not utilizing other social media platforms enough. There
Ah.
are other things out there. I mean, Twitter and Instagram are very obvious and very accessible, but there's also Yelp, Facebook, Google business pages, Nextdoor, and Open Table. And especially,
Oh.
depending on what your product or your company, does,
Mhm.
there are just multiple ways that you can get your stuff out there and multiple platforms for you to update on. Because
Mm.
the more that you've just kind of put yourself out there, the more it'll come back to you in different ways.
Ah, okay. And I think I know you've mentioned this before, but it's something that even I personally struggle to keep in mind is that there really is a return on these things if you put yourself out there to them. I mean, I'm always struck by, Kat, whenever you say, you get something back when you put it out there, and I don't think that can be reiterated enough that really is true.
I feel like a lot of the times people think successful accounts happen overnight, but that's not. You just see it when you start to learn what it is, and it feels overnight to you. But behind a lot of your favorite products or your favorite companies is a lot of work and a lot of reaching out, which leads to number 4, which is not interacting with customers and followers enough and utilizing their love for your product, because you've got people who love your product, or, you know, and if you're looking at your numbers of only 100 people love my product, that's 100 people that have friends, that have accounts, that have friends of friends, that, you know, when you utilize that even just small following, that is what will open up to more. And so that means, you know, send out things for free. Don't always be like, you know, a money grabber, because when you can give out things, you're helping yourself at the end of the day. So do giveaways, do exchange products for posts with influencers, or if you see an influencer that you like that is doing something similar or holding something similar to your product, you could be like, I see that you like this. You might actually like our product. So if you're interested, we'd love to send you it. Because who's gonna say no to something free? And also, like, then with you being very open and very much wanting to show your product and being excited for this person to see it, then you've got someone else to have a reason to be excited too. So I think interacting, there's a lot of like ways, or I guess it's easy to kind of be like, no, you must pay for this, or, you know, this is high end, so obviously we have to be like unattainable. But, you know, once you become more open and more sharing, then you've got so many other people in the world who will share your products too.
Gotcha. I would like to ask about that. I mean, I know, you know, it's because you're so right about so many businesses have that feeling of like, we can't give anything out to somebody. But like, I can hear, you know, an executive hypothetically saying somewhere like, we could, you know, send this thing for free to this influencer, but, you know, what's the worst case scenario? I mean, they're going to make fun of it on their platform. Like, I mean, it's you always hear the thing about like the worst thing that can happen is no. Isn't that isn't that more or less what's true about this giving stuff away? I mean, there's really no downside to it, right? What could the downside be? Like,
yeah, the downside would be that, you know, maybe you've lost one product, or you've lost a little bit, but with the amount that you'll put yourself out there, it'll get lost in the love. Like, you're gonna find people, because the whole thing is to have real reactions, right? So if someone doesn't like your product that you've given out for free, they'll tell you why for the most part, and then either that's something just that's a personal opinion, or it's something that could possibly change in the future. Like if it's a part of the formula, and it's like, if this is a formula in our product that is having some trouble, that's actually a red flag. Thank you for letting us know. If it's an actual, you know, opinion where it's like, I just don't like chocolate, and it's like, okay, so don't, then we'll only, you know, then if you like chocolate, then have it. Like it's just, so you don't really, there's just so many, I guess you'll never know until you actually do it. But when you do it, you're going to learn more about your product and your company than if you didn't give your products out.
No, that's perfect. I think the piggyback, I'll let you get to your last point, but just how, you know, there's nothing bad that can happen for you reaching out with your products or sharing them with someone. For lack of a better phrase, there is no excuse.
Yes, exactly. And so this last one, this is number 5. And I would say that this one is a very specific one. It's not for everyone, but it's an easy way to just boost your postings and to boost your presence on social media. I've noticed that people don't take advantage enough of holidays and national day opportunities, because there are other holidays than, you know, Columbus Day or Halloween or Christmas. Like there are obvious holidays that, you know, go with the seasons, but there's things like National Pizza Day. Today is actually National Coffee Day. And
I was just going to say I made a lame joke on my own personal feeds about that exact hashtag. Yes. These things occur. Yeah.
So my advice would be to every start of every month, take a look at the calendar of what the national days are, which ones apply to your company and apply to you. Then you can start thinking of, this would be a really cute pun. We can come up with a whole thing of National Cheese Pizza Day. There's not only, you know, there's cheese pizza, there's pepperoni day, there's probably like, so there's just so many ways that you can just sneak in not only another relatable post, but something that if someone is needing an excuse to get pizza, that you making that post about National Pizza Day or National Cheese Pizza Day or whatever, National Food Delivery Day, like any day that has anything to do with your product or your company that you can find, that's also an opportunity for someone to just read that and be like, that is true. You know what? I will do that today. Might as well. It's National Blank Day. Like there's just so many, and the fact that there are so many days. There's a National Bubble Bath Day. Like there's just so many different things that you can take a look at the calendar, and I swear you will walk away with 4 new posting ideas that you didn't think that you were going to have last month that are creative and rememberable. So those are my top 5 biggest mistakes that I see companies do.
Well, Kat, that was just great because, it just hit me there towards the end, like how many times you read or see some piece of content where like, here are the biggest mistakes. And then it's essentially nothing but negativity. It is one, condemnation after another. And yet after hearing you say that, not just did I learn something, but I feel, inspired. It's every time I talk to you, I leave more with the idea of just how possible it is for essentially anyone to do better through social media. And what's great about that is I don't even have to ask you the question about, well, what's something, tell the people something they can do as soon as they end this podcast. That's all you did in all 5 points. There was something they could do in each of those. So that was great. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope someone walks away with at least, wanting to take a look at the calendar for what national days are relevant to them. I think that one is the most underused, but it could be a nice, just a helpful thing.
And one last thing for the business owners, you think, oh, there's not a national day for that. Yes, there is.
Yes, there is.
There is a national day for all of this. And moreover, there's probably a national day whenever you're listening to this coming up soon. Not be whether they come along all the time, not just annually. They'll be there forever. Well, on that note, thank you so much for coming out again, logging in again today, Kat.
Thank you. I hope you have a great rest of your day. It was great talking with you.
It's always good talking to you, Kat. All right. On behalf of Website Depot, my name's Greg Benevent. Take it easy. Have a good day.